In this video, I'm going to show you how to create this kind of highly textured, high-quality vlog. And when I say high quality, I don't mean taking a portrait, making it blink mechanically, smile, or turn its head. I mean letting the character complete a small event within 10 seconds, something that can actually be edited into a finished clip. Actually, in this episode, we don't use any new model and we don't use any new Comfy nodes. But you'll notice that I used 6 groups of scenes and actually created 12 vertical vlog clips. And the quality is all very high. Let's look at a few of them first. The first one is a seaside guest house in the early morning. The character pulls a photo out of the camera, looks down at the image on the photo, and the sea breeze moves the hair, the linen shirt, and the sheer curtain at the same time. The second clip is on a city rooftop before sunset. The character takes off sunglasses with one hand, turns around, and walks toward the right side of the frame. The hand, the sunglasses, the body weight shift, and the camera movement all move in the same direction. The third one is a cafe in the morning. A tram passes outside the window. The character first follows the tram with her eyes, then looks down at the camera on the table. The fourth clip is a micro expression by a train window. The character's face turns from the reflection in the glass toward the camera, completing a blink and a very subtle change into a slight smile. In fact, before each clip was generated, we had already designed what the character should do, what state they are in right now, and where the action should develop in the next second. So what is the real problem we want to solve in this video? It is how to reproduce this kind of result more stably, turn it into a reusable workflow, reduce failed clips, and improve the success rate of the final usable footage. So how do we generate a video? There are 3 steps here, and most of you probably already know them. But if we only repeat these 3 steps, then there is really no value in that. The real difference is that we add a quality gate to each step. If the previous stage does not deliver a clear result, it cannot move into the next stage. The first gate is the prompt. Here we use a skill called Female Portrait Director D. We turn a vague image idea into a first frame design that can actually be shot and can continue moving afterward. The second gate is a high quality first frame here. We have 2 options. If you want the simpler commercial route, you can use GPT Image 2. If you want the open source route, you can use Krea 2. The third stage is the dynamic video, and here we use LTX 2.3. So what is the purpose of these 3 gates? The first is to reduce ambiguity in the prompt. The second is to block bad first frames. The third is to control the action path and character continuity. Next, let's go through the full workflow. For easier demonstration, I also built the workflow on Running Hub. In the Comfy space, Running Hub is a very solid online workflow platform because whenever a new model or a new extension appears, it follows up right away. Running Hub also provides an online communication platform for Comfy creators, where you can find a lot of creative inspiration and example workflows. Let's start with the prompt. These days, you could say anyone can write prompts, but being able to write a prompt and being able to write one stably are 2 different things. For example, if we want to make a travel vlog, I could write it like this: a beautiful East Asian woman standing at a seaside guest house, holding a camera, cinematic 9:16. There is nothing wrong with this sentence. An image model can definitely generate something from it, but it basically hands all the important decisions over to the model. Is the character currently taking a photo, or has she already finished taking it? Is the photo still inside the camera, or is it in her hand? Is she looking at the photo or looking at the camera? If we don't write these things, the image model will make those decisions for us. The final image may look beautiful, but it has nothing to do with your design. So I think prompt writing is extremely important. Here, we use a skill called Cybe Female Portrait Director. What you're seeing now is its GitHub link. Installation is fairly simple. First, the full installation process is available on GitHub. Of course, if you find it troublesome, you can directly give the link to Codex and let it install it for you. After installation, you can call the Cybe Female Portrait Director skill. We don't need to provide a very long description at the beginning. Usually, we only need to provide some of the following information. Of course, you don't need to provide all of it. Just provide what you think is necessary. For example, the character is a 27-year-old adult East Asian woman. The scene is the terrace of a seaside guest house in the early morning. The outfit is a light sand, colored linen shirt, and off-white wide-leg pants. The props are an instant camera and a photo. The image should feel relaxed, bright, and travel-oriented. The aspect ratio is 9:16. Finally, add one more sentence about the event you want to shoot. For example, her left hand supports the camera, her right hand pinches a photo that is only halfway out, and a distant fairy is positioned on the right side of the frame, leaving space for a later change in her gaze. It is not simply making our keywords more decorative. First, it locks down the age, clothing, scene, aspect ratio, and action requirements I explicitly gave, so the original settings do not get quietly changed during expansion. Then from 20 already implemented portrait directions, it selects one main style and expands this moment into 5 final prompt sections. For stable production, this process is very important. In this case, it gives 5 groups of prompt information. Take a look at the prompt written by this skill. It is much more detailed. It can not only be used to generate an image, but also prepares a lot of groundwork for the later video generation. Here, I want to introduce a very important concept, the 0 frame of action. This means that in frame 0, the character already needs to have a clear action. For the seaside image we have right now, it is not that the character has already taken out the photo and is standing there holding it. Instead, the photo is only halfway out of the camera. In the next second, there is a natural motion path. Pull out the photo. Then look at the photo. We also made a more intuitive rooftop comparison. In the first image, the character's arms are hanging down, the sunglasses are fully worn, and it looks like a finished fashion pose. In the second image, the right hand is already holding the temple of the sunglasses. The sunglasses are already moving downward, and the body has started turning to the right. Both images can eventually generate videos, but the first one requires LTX to design by itself how to raise the hand and how to remove the sunglasses. The second image continues an action that has already started. So this concept we're talking about is called the 0 frame of action. It means there is already an action inside frame 0. This makes the later video generation much smoother. After the prompt is done, we enter the second gate, generating and checking our first frame image. Here, you have 2 routes to choose from. The first route is using GPT image 2. What is its advantage? The path is short. We only need to put in the prompt, and we can immediately get an image. The second route is using Krea 2. This is the open source route. But it is not the default text to image workflow. It is the high definition workflow I talked about before. This workflow mainly has 3 functions. The first is base generation. Pay attention. Here I use Krea 2 Raw as the main model, then use Turbo LoRa, and for the VAE, I use WAN 2.1 VAE. So this is one part that is different from the original workflow. In addition, we use 2-stage sampling. The first stage handles the main structure of the image. The second stage uses a very low denoise value for refinement. This way, we get both composition and detail. Now, we take the prompt generated by the same skill and give it separately to GPT Image 2 and the Krea 2 workflow. Look at these 2 generated images. Both basically establish the compositional relationship of the seaside terrace, instant camera, half-exposed photo, and fairy on the right side. But their visual interpretations are slightly different. Still, the generation quality is fine in both cases. Next is the third gate. We directly generate the video here. I also use a skill, but this skill is one I wrote myself. Honestly, this skill is very rough, so giving it directly to everyone is not that meaningful. Instead, I'll give you a system prompt. You can use any large language model to help write this video prompt. I've talked about this prompt before. It is a 5 action beat video prompt. LTX videos generated with it will have more motion. Let's look at the example we just used. In the first step, we want her to fully pull out the photo. In the second step, she slightly lowers the camera and raises the photo to eye level. In the third step, the photo begins to develop, and the character shows a slight surprise. In the fourth step, her eyes first turn toward the fairy, then slowly lift up. After seeing the fairy, she turns back to look at the photo. The workflow used here is the character consistency and high-resolution upscale workflow I explained before. First, the whole workflow is divided into 2 stages. The first stage is responsible for the character and action. Here, we use an extension that provides many nodes. The first one is called Likeness Guide, which extracts facial information. Then there is Likeness Anchor. which continuously pulls attention back to our reference character during sampling. Reference image latent injection also means the video does not start completely from an empty latent. These three parts together determine one thing. After the character turns her head, blinks, and makes expressions, she can still remain consistent with the person in our first frame. The second stage is high-resolution upscaling. Here we use LTX latent upsampler tiled, which is latent space upscaling. Pay attention, it uses tiled mode. Similarly, our tiled sampler also uses tiled mode. If the image resolution is very large, generation simply takes longer, but it will not run out of RAM. Of course, this generation method is not 100% correct either. It can still have problems. In this image, a beautiful woman is closing an umbrella in front of a convenience store. But in the end, both videos we generated interpreted closing the umbrella as opening the umbrella, and the umbrella surface directly covered the character's face. This is not a problem that the high definition workflow can solve. So this is the method we're introducing today for generating high definition vlog videos. The reason is that the image generation skill we talked about can only be used to generate portrait style images. So positioning this type of video as a vlog is more suitable. That's all for today. What are you waiting for? Go try it yourself, follow me, and become someone who truly understands AI.